OKC Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Plus, Gilas Pilipinas now back home after struggling in the final window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers.
And we talked to Alex Cabagnot live via Zoom as he sets the record straight on his future in the PBA.
I hope he tells about that story. Natulog lang pagising, retired na raw. Kino-congratulate. We'll find out more about that later on the program. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Latangkalaw.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Ramiro, the show by Mamoy leaves. Mr. Moves puts it off. Unbelievable. Gemma on the left side. Oh, the pass! Stumping another one. Bacunas rejecting Estejo for the
Let's tip things off in the NBA as the Minnesota Timberwolves get their quick revenge on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Wolves beat the Thunder in overtime, 131 to 128 in OKC. Many trailed by as many as 25 points and was even on the verge of falling to OKC for the second straight night. The Wolves, though, were even down 22 entering the fourth quarter, but unleashed a 41-point outburst, including a 16-0 run to force the extra period. Anthony Edwards sealed the victory with a crucial block on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is the Wolves' largest comeback victory in team history. Jaden McDaniels led the way with 27 points, including the game-tying and one that led to the extra period. The Thunder did rest Chet Holmgren and lost Isaiah Hartenstein to a nose injury during the game. OKC had to lean on SGA's 39 points, but to no avail. The Thunder, however, still ruled the West with 46 wins and 11 losses. The Wolves claimed the 7th spot with 32 victories and 27 defeats. After the thriller, Mini head coach Chris Finch pointed out a couple of factors that fueled his team's come-from-behind victory.
Obviously, it started a little slow and then came all at once. You know, it just kind of snowballed out there. You know, we spent the last 2 games taking the ball out of Shai's hands. And we didn't want to start the game that way just because we figured they'd be really ready for it. But, you know, when we got down big, we probably waited too long to do it. But we just, you know, kept coming and get them as early as possible, not letting them to get into anything and you know, that was really key. And then from there, like, I think, you know, sometimes when other players haven't been involved in the game very much, it's hard for them to just rise up and make shots down the stretch. And, you know, we took that bet, and that's what happened. So, you know, all credit to our guys. We really rebounded well down the stretch too. So.
Make it 7 wins in a row for the Detroit Pistons. They beat the LA Clippers 106-97 behind another stellar Cade Cunningham performance. This is Detroit's longest winning streak in 10 years. Cunningham came through with 32 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. It was a match too close to call until an 8-0 spurt to close the third period gave the Pistons a 10-point lead entering the final frame. The Clippers didn't go down easily, with James Harden putting up 18 points and 12 rebounds in a losing effort. From being the worst team in the NBA last season, the Pistons are now 6th in the East with 32 wins and 26 losses. The Clippers are in the same spot in the West with 31 victories and 26 setbacks. At the post-game press conference, Detroit head coach JB Bickerstaff broke down his squad's hard-earned victory.
Grit. I mean, that's it. It wasn't easy. You know, I think both teams were coming in a little fatigued. You know, the style that they play is rough, rugged, physical, a lot of hands, a lot of grabbing, holding. So it wasn't going to come easy for us tonight. But I couldn't be more proud of these guys to show that resiliency, you know, show that mental toughness, because we had some tired guys out there. But they figured out a way, you know, to, you know, manipulate the game so that we could play it at our speed and play it into our favor to win the game. So I couldn't be more proud of them for the way they showed up tonight on a tough back-to-back. You know, a ton of minutes, the travel, what time you get in, so give our guys a ton of cred for what they were able to do tonight, because this was not easy.
Well, meantime, the Chicago Bulls end their six-game skid with a blowout at the expense of the struggling Philadelphia 76ers. Let's take a look at the final score. No typo, 142 to 110. I repeat, 142 to 110 in favor of Windy City. Chi-Town was even up by 50 at one point during the fourth quarter. Josh Giddey stuffed the stat sheet with 25 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. Kevin Herter, Zach Collins, and Matas Buzelis added a combined 59 points. Once again, Philly played without Joel Embiid, who's getting his left knee examined. The Bulls are still 10th in the Eastern Conference with a 23-35 win-loss slate. The Sixers are at 12th place with 20 wins against 37 defeats. 5 more NBA games on tap for you tonight.
Here are the results. The Washington Wizards snapped their 6-game losing skid after beating the Brooklyn Nets 107-99. Reigning MVP Nikola Jokic tallies a career-high 19 assists to lead the Denver Nuggets past the Indiana Pacers 125-116. The Atlanta Hawks allowed their fewest points since 2021 in a 98-86 shutdown of the Miami Heat.
Meanwhile, Ferdy Simon scores 28 points in the Portland Trailblazers 114-112 victory over the Utah Jazz. And lastly, Zach LaVine misses just 3 shots en route to a season-high 42 points as the Sacramento Kings humiliate the Charlotte Hornets 130-88.
Gilas Pilipinas is back in the country after ending their FIBA Asia Cup 2025 qualifiers campaign. Head coach Tim Cohn and crew landed at the NAIA Terminal 3 early this morning. The team is coming off a tough loss to New Zealand in the qualifiers last Sunday. Despite going winless in the third and final window, Gilas is still through to the main Asia Cup tournament in August. Cohen admits that he may have pushed the guys too hard after the tough trip. Gilas joined a pocket tournament in Qatar a few days before the third window. Aside from fatigue, Cohen also touched on the void left by Kai Soto, who's out for the year due to an ACL tear. Here's Coach Tim talking about the busy schedule and playing without Soto.
This was a really, really tough trip, and we used this as a preparation for August, and honestly, it was a little bit too much for us, and that's on me. That's my fault. I was the one that designed this trip, and it was just really hard. And the travel, the 10-hour flights, the change in time, and just really, really tough. And we weren't at our full capacity by the time we played Taiwan and New Zealand. So, I mean, obviously, this is something personally I learned from, in terms of this is, we're going to be a little bit more careful, make sure we don't exhaust ourselves getting ready for the FIBA Asia Cup. Kai it means a lot to us, and he changes the way we play. I think the only way we replace Kai is just to get contributions throughout the whole lineup, and we weren't able to do that this time around. We're continually going to try to get the team, picked up and playing at a high level again. We just didn't meet our expectations this time.
Coming up, after debunking news of his PBA retirement, we'll catch up with 9-time champion Alex Cabagnot to talk about his next career move and his new journey as a coach. That and more when Play-by-Play returns.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Play by Play, only on One News. The stakes get higher as the PBA Commissioner's Cup semifinals tip off tomorrow. First up at 5 p.m. Here it is on your screens. It's game one of the best of 7 series between the TNT Tropang Giga and the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. TNT will try to avenge their elimination round loss against Rain or Shine. In that game, Anton Asistio was on fire from beyond the arc, finishing with 21 points to lead the Elasto Painters past the Tropang Giga 106 to 96. Then comes 7:30 p.m. the top seeds, the Northport Batang Pier and Barangay Ginebra San Miguel will get their turn with game one of their series. Ginebra looks to redeem itself after a tough loss to the league-leading Northport earlier this conference. The Batang Pier shocked many when they edged out the Gin Kings last January 119 to 116. Joshua Munzon starred for Northport in that game, finishing with 27 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Tomorrow's games will take place at the Big Dome, the Smart Araneta Coliseum. But of course, you can also watch them live on PBA Rush, on RPTV, and the Pilipinas Live app.
News of 9-time PBA champion Alex Cabagnot's retirement made waves yesterday, only to be debunked by the Crunch Man himself.
Now to shed light on his next career move and his new journey as an assistant coach again in the UAAP, this time for the UE Red Warriors, we got Kabagi, the Crunch Man, Alex Cabagnot, live via Zoom, joining us on Play by Play. Good evening, Kabagi. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Kumusta? Kumusta?
Ikaw
Good
ang
evening
kamusta?
po.
Why don't you tell us how you are?
Oo, kaya nga kasi kahapon, gulong-gulo kami ni Cheska. Ano ba talaga? Like, we were even communicating with CK Canapi Daniolco of Converge, who is the acting governor for Converge. And we were like, tas wala ka na nga. Teka lang, first of all, ikwento, gusto ko sa iyo manggaling. It's nice that it will come from you. What happened? Because kwento mo, natulog ka, paggising mo, kinocongratulate ka na, retired ka na raw. Tell us what all happened yesterday, Alex. Go ahead, the floor is yours, my friend.
No, actually, you know what? I think it's just a misunderstanding. I think Converge and I we are parting ways, you know, amicably, obviously. And I think they thought it was a retirement. I think it's just a miscommunication, but you know, that happens. But I did have to answer like a few thousand messages of congratulatory, and I had to say, you know what, I'm not retiring yet.
Natulog ka lang.
Natulog lang ako, nag-nap lang ako, tapos bigla na lang ako na-retire. Sabi ko, damn, how long was I sleeping?
That was what Cheska was saying earlier.
It's very Captain America of you.
Exactly.
Okay, but again, Alex Cabagnot is not retiring. To set things straight here on Play by Play on One News, can you tell everybody, to your fans, supporters, that Alex Cabagnot is still on the market, that you are not hanging up your sneakers from your playing days, correct?
Yes. Well, obviously, you know what, to all my supporters and my fans, and to just I think my family members were kind of surprised by it as well, too. So, you know, they follow Philippine news and they have social media as well. I'm not retiring yet. And, you know, hopefully, you know, I still have the itch to play basketball. I still have the itch to try to help a team get to the promised land. And if me being in Converge was any indication that we could surpass goals in 2 conferences, then, you know, that's where we'll go from. But, you know, I respect Converge. I had a great opportunity. I had great relationships with Converge. And, you know, it's just a miscommunication. Wala naman yun sa akin. Alam mo naman yun sa akin. Chill lang naman ako.
All right, well, another thing that we need to clarify. Did the UE assistant coaching job have anything to do with you moving on from Converge?
No, actually, with the UE coaching gig, it's totally 100% Coach Chris Gravina. And I'm just in the mode of handling basketball operations and just, you know, the things that he doesn't want to handle, which, you know, on the back end is more admin stuff than anything. and recruiting and grades and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at. I'm more on the front office of that side. And Coach Chris, he has his whole system and he has his whole which I've been in Taiwan. So and I've known him for 13 years. So we work hand in hand really well together. And we know that I know that he's the head coach and I'm just there to help him 100%.
Okay, talk about UE because this is not your first go-around as an assistant coach sa UAAP. You were an assistant coach also for UP under Coach Bo Perasol at that time. So now, this time, again, you will be coaching kids. And we were talking about this, we were having this long conversation na point guards apparently make good coaches. Diba? Ngayon, LA Tenorio now with the Gilas Youth. Yes, and then ang dami ng mga, even Jason Kidd in the NBA, diba? Ang dami mga former point guards. So you're back again as an assistant coach, this time for UE. How excited are you for this new role under Coach Chris, who's your good friend, and what can you bring, aside from your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience, to UE, to the guards especially?
Well, it's always a team effort. It always takes a village to get to the promised land, right? So when we went to a finals appearance and a semifinals appearance with UE, it took the whole community to support us to be there. So that's just something that I'm enlightening some of the guys on. It's not going to be just us. And we have a great coaching staff with KG Canaleta and Paulo Balde, UE Blood. So hopefully we get the community behind us. Coaching, I told you this, it's not really, they say I'm good at it, or I don't know if I'm good at it or not, but it's not really something that my forte. I'm in the position of my life right now that I'm doing other things. I have a baby daughter that I take, definitely, I'm very hands-on in. So obviously this is coming into my life, a little bit different situation than when I was in UP. When I was in UP, I didn't have a daughter, I didn't have family, I didn't have, I was just by myself, right? So it's coming in as a difficult, obviously for me, because I'm very hands-on as a father. So, I think I put off a lot of things being in the PBA for almost 20 years to away from my family. So now it's kind of like it's their turn. But other than that, I hope collectively we bring exactly what it needs to get to the Final Four. And I think they were only a game away from that last year. And I hope we could, make some changes, throw a couple wrinkles in there. Coach Chris has his vibes and we're all in tune, and hopefully we could make the Final Four.
All right. Well, of course, now with you being busy in UE and of course your family, what does this mean for your PBA career? Does this mean we won't see you in the PBA for the time being, or are you already in talks to join other teams that you'll be able to play in the PBA and coach in the UAAP?
I have an advisor in Boss Danny, and he's just, he's gonna work his magic, whatever that may be. But obviously, I still want to play in the PBA. I still want to, hopefully help a team out to get to certain levels that they can get to with whatever they could squeeze out of me, whether it's like leadership roles or whether it's just a veteran presence in the locker room, anything like that. I'm guys, it's, I'm 42 right now. So obviously that's something that is still, I want to do because I have the itch for, and, hopefully it works out. But as of the moment, Boss Danny's handling all that.
Wala tayong time, Alex. Ito, yes or no lang. Super last question
Yes.
to. No, kasi may nag-reply and I saw a lot of fans. May mga nakita ko sa Twitter babasa. Someone said, Alex Cabagnot, San Miguel, doon ka na magtatapos. Is there a possibility na may reunion na you'll be part of San Miguel and probably doon ka na rin magtapos? Yes or no?
Yes. I hope that's a possibility. I hope that's something that I can do. The PBA is fickle, but if I had to answer you, yes, of course.
Okay, maraming
Thank you,
salamat.
Alex.
Again, for your time, thank you so much. Kinulit natin to eh. Kaya pumayag. Thank you. And I'm not saying you're gonna retire, but if you do it on this show. Is that okay?
Of course, I told you that before. We had a conversation 2 years ago. I said, if I was to retire, I'm gonna do it with you, right there with your platform. So,
Yes, sir.
definitely with you.
Thank you so much, Kabagi. All the best to you. Go take care of your baby. Thank you once again. He is not retiring. Good luck on the next journey. Again, an assistant coach for UE. That was 9-time PBA champ, 1-time PBA Finals MVP back in 2017. Alex the Crunchman Cabagnon. Coming up here on Play-by-Play, from ridiculous passes check to clutch defensive plays. Ridiculous talaga. Tonight's highlight reel covers an all-NBA lineup. Catch that and more when Play-by-Play returns only here on One News. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Play-by-Play on One News. Another full day of volleyball tomorrow with action in both the UAAP and Spikers Turf. The UAAP will have 4 games at the Mall of Asia Arena, starting with the DLSU Green Spikers battling the UST Golden Spikers at 9 a.m. This will be followed by the Adamson Soaring Falcons taking on the UE Red Warriors at 11 a.m. In women's volleyball, it's the Adamson Lady Falcons versus the UE Lady Warriors at 1 p.m. Lastly, it's the highly anticipated rematch of last year's Final Four battle between the DLSU Lady Spikers and the UST Golden Tigresses at 5 p.m. Meanwhile, over at the United Sports Arena, the 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference continues with another triple header. At 1 p.m., the Alpha Insurance Protectors face off against the Savoj Spin Doctors. Next, the PGJC Navy Sea Lions go head-to-head with the Crisscross King Crunchers at 3:30 p.m. Capping off the night at 6 p.m., it's the Volleyball Never Stops Griffins squaring up against the Signal HD Spikers. Catch all the games live on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and on the Pilipinas Live app. You can also watch the UAAP games on the UAAP Varsity channel.
It's always great, Check, when you have a lot of games in the NBA. That means we have an all-NBA lineup in tonight's highlight reel. And I did say ridiculous. Well, you be the judge. Let's start off with the Hawks against the Heat in Atlanta. Trae Young, woo, some magic there, some showtime. And that was the Mo Gaya with a slam. Take a look at this against Hero. Even Kalel Ware, Davion Mitchell had no idea where the ball was going. It went to Gay for that two-handed flush. Young finished with 11 points, and that was 1 of 14 dimes from Ice Trae. Gay, by the way, had 9 points as the Hawks shut down the Heat at home, 98-86. On to the next one. Let's go to the Pistons-Clippers game. Harden misses. Duran rebounds off the Schroeder. New point guard on the run to Cade Cunningham. Woo! Behind the back against Coffee. And then the lob to guess who? The guy who got the rebound on the other end. Jalen Duran gets rewarded because a big man ran down the floor, got it from the lob from Cade, and stuffed it home there. Cunningham with 32 points. What a season. 9 rebounds, 7 assists for Cade. Duran had 12 markers and 19 boards. On to the next one now. Same game, different player, though. Okay, off an inbounds. It's Schroeder. Nice pass to the cutting. Osar Thompson posterizing Derek Jones, who usually does the dunking and the posterizing, but that time he was on the receiving end of Osar Thompson here. What a finish. Ooh, using the left hand too. Thompson finished with 10 markers. Pistons win 7 in a row as they beat the LA Clippers. Final score 106-97. Up next now, Thunder against the T-Wolves. J-Dub finds Isaiah Hartenstein for that southpaw finish. Woo! That slam. Take a look at that play. Baiting Luka Garza. There, look at Hartenstein. Loving that play from Jalen Williams as OKC. That was one of J-Dub's 6 dimes, by the way, to go with 27 points. Unfortunately, we mentioned earlier on the news item that Ihart only had 4 buckets. He was forced to leave the game in the second quarter with a bloody nose. Ouch. Finally, let's go to this. You know, after being down as many as 25, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander says, "No, sir!" by Ant-Man Anthony Edwards. That's why it's the #1 play on the NBA for a reason as well. The block on SGA by Ant-Man, a statement on the defensive end by Anthony Edwards, who had a good all-around game, finishing with 17 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. The Wolves take revenge on OKC at OKC just 24 hours after their last game against each other. Final score here, 131-128 in OT. They were down as many as 25. What a big win for Ant-Man and Minnesota. Check.
No, sir!
Ridiculous.
Ganon.
Siyempre, oh.
Ridiculous.
Di nga, hindi, you know what I meant,
Absolutely
may rest in
ridiculous.
peace. Wala nang gumagawa eh. Dikembe Mutombo, remember? Diba? 90s days. Di na kilala ng mga kids. But any favorites?
I mean, that Trae Young behind that was
Grabe,
smooth.
no?
That was really, really smooth. But it's the no, sir, that is my favorite.
Ito yun, oh. Look at this. Woo! Against
Smooth.
against the Miami Heat. Your
Oo na.
Miami Heat too.
All right. And
Sorry.
before we go, Filipino tennis ace Alex Ayala had another special moment at the Rafa Nadal Academy, this time with the legend himself, Rafael Nadal.
Wow.
In an Instagram post, Nadal shared his experience of spending time with young and talented players at his academy, including Ayala. He praised their dedication both on the court and in their studies, encouraging them as they take on new challenges in their careers. Nadal also wished the young tennis stars luck on the WTA Tour as they continue to climb the ranks. Ayala graduated from the Rafael Nadal Academy back in 2023, where she was a full scholar for 5 years. Last month, the Filipina tennis player soared to her new career best WTA ranking of 137. Ayala is now chasing her goal of making a Grand Slam main draw this year.
Wow, that's awesome. And
We
hopefully,
love it.
yes,
We love to
super.
see it.
Oh, sobra. And I think it's a perfect time. We remember we're supposed to have Alex, and hopefully, kasi super busy din,
Yes.
and the different time zones, di ba, in Europe, alam mo naman, parang 6 hours, 7 hours baliktad. So, and hopefully, we can have Alex on the show here kahit via Zoom. That's all from us tonight. Catch us again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of today's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV, Channel 8 on SD, and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Litoncalo. Thank you for watching. Good night.